Good morning. Happy Friday, you guys. I hope everyone is looking forward to an amazing weekend. I know I am heading out, boarding a plane, heading back up to Alaska tomorrow. So exciting times for me. Today's going to be a really busy day filled with meetings with clients and packing and last minute errands and all the stuff that goes along with taking a trip and being gone from home for several weeks. But welcome in. Dr. Marci here, your favorite life change architect. Wanted to come in today and bring this message to you. I was really thinking about some of the things that prevent people from really truly making changes in their lives. And as many of you know, I'm a curriculum creator, and so I actually have a whole business line called Curriculum to Cash where I help other businesses write curriculum. So I was working on a project dealing with a new curriculum, and I was thinking about obviously the subject of change, because that's sort of my jam. This was unrelated for my client, but I was thinking about what is it that controls us so much, and what is it that really makes it hard for people to embrace changes and start making and self-correcting. Because a lot of times even clients who come to me for coaching and things like that, they have the ability to make the shifts in themselves. Sometimes they need accountability, sometimes they need other things. But so I was thinking about life is really controlled about 4 things, and I put those 4 things in the name of this video. And it's controlled by our beliefs, our meaning that we assign to our beliefs, our emotions, and our choices. So our beliefs, the meaning, our emotions, and our choices. If we can address those 4 things, then change becomes a lot easier, because we're not as focused on the road ahead. We're now focused internally. And so I was thinking about beliefs in my program challenge to change one of my own curriculums. We dive into the generational system and the impact that it has on our lives. And I have a whole section on belief, and I have a whole section on helping patients and clients figure out, like, where do their belief systems come from? Because at the core of everything that we do, it all starts with our belief systems. And from that, whatever we learn in our generational system, so what we see from our parents, what we see from our teachers, what we see from mentors, coaches, pastors, you name it, community. And then when we get into our teens, also our friends have a heavy influence. And now with our kids being on tablets and phones and all that kind of stuff, social media even has a huge impact on beliefs. And our beliefs, because they're the core of everything we do, everything that we do is founded on our belief system. So our belief system tells us, whether we think something's good, whether we think something's bad, whether we should be angry about it. We go down that whole shoulda, coulda, woulda, shouldn't, can't, won't, don't, all of that kind of stuff. That's what we think somebody should do is based on our belief system. It has nothing to do with the other person. And we get tripped up by that, saying, well, they shouldn't have done this to me, or they shouldn't have done that to me. One of the exercises I walk clients through is teaching them how to question reality. And so the message we're telling ourselves is, this person shouldn't do that, or they should have done this, when in reality, the message that's going through the other person's mind is that they should have. Absolutely. Or they absolutely should not have done that. Or it could just be a simple fact that it's not something that they think about. It's not something that was important to them growing up. It's not something that maintains a big significance into their belief system. And so that's where meaning comes into it. So we have this belief system. That's our foundation. Our belief system is where we find meaning in everything that we do. So that's the things that tells us how you should feel about it. is how do I intake this information? What do I do with this data? How do I process this information? How does this apply to me? That's all our meaning. So our beliefs and our meaning go together. But your belief system and the meaning that you tie to whatever those beliefs are, then get to your emotions. And your emotions, that's what's going to drive your choices. How you feel about something is going to drive your emotions just about every time, until you learn how to get control of your emotions, get control of how you feel about things, and begin to really truly question your belief system. Why do you believe what you believe? Sometimes we believe things just because that's what we were taught. We've never taken the time to sit back and say, is this actually my belief? Or is that a belief that I inherited from someone else? So we can go our whole lives, if we never sit down and question our belief systems, we can go our whole lives believing something because someone told us that in our generational system. So that age from 0 to 7 is critical. It's absolutely critical. And so, when we talk about what we pour into our children, what we're giving our children access to, what we allow children to observe, what we allow them to hear. Back in my day, kids didn't belong in grown folks' business. If the grown folks was talking, you had to go to another room. There was no in between. And now the lines are blurred. And so parents are thinking that the kids are on their tablet doing X, Y, and Z, and they're not really listening. And the kids are like, yeah, they're on their tablet, but they're hearing everything, or they're seeing everything. Or what are they seeing on their tablet if you're not watching their social media? And so, like I said, all the beliefs and the meaning comes from that generational system. And that generational system is going to drive everything, because your beliefs and your meaning is the foundation for your life. It's the foundation for how you do things. You can't change your life without changing your beliefs or questioning your beliefs and making sure that they're actually your beliefs. Because that's how you give meaning to things. So until you have a disruptor up with your belief systems and the meaning that you tie to things, you can never change your emotions and your choices, because they're all linked together. Your emotions drive your choices. You do things because of how you feel about something or how you think about it. So that meaning and those emotions, that's what's driving all your behaviors. You can't fix your life. You can't change your life until you address those 4 things. Your belief systems, the meaning you attach to things. Why is that so important to you? Why do you believe what you believe? Some people go into religions. They're like, oh, I'm this religion. Okay, well, what do you believe about that? What is it about that particular religion? And they can't tell you. They don't know, because they've never questioned their belief. They've never asked themselves, am I a Christian because I wanted to be a Christian, or am I a Christian because my family was a Christian? Am I Baptist because I was raised in a Baptist church? Or do I really prefer a non-denominational church? Maybe I really prefer a Catholic church. I'm just using religion as one example of things that we take in our generational system, and we never question. We never question. We have to question our beliefs. We have to question, why am I applying the meaning to certain things or certain words that if you don't have an emotional attachment to it, the word's not going to bother you. I'll use the word fat, for example. I used to have an emotional attachment to the word fat, so it could hurt me. And I started to realize, well, first of all, fat is symbolic of excess body weight. So I had to question myself, is it true? Do I have excess body weight? Yes, I do. So if it's true, why is it bothering me? Because it can't bother me that much if I haven't fixed it. You see? And so now the word fat doesn't have a negative connotation for me. And I also had learned that people will weaponize what they think bothers you and try and use that against you. So if you feel like there's something inside of you that's wrong with that, or again, using the word fat, if I felt, and when I felt as a child, little chubby kid growing up, getting picked on because I was fat, and I had big boobs, it was a problem. Now, thick is good, thick is in. The line between thick and fat is blurred, quite honestly, and big boobs is a great thing for anybody who doesn't have to carry them. That's a whole other thing for a whole other day. But my point is, I don't have an emotional attachment to that word. So you can never say, hey, Marci, you're this and you're fat this or you're fat that, and I'm going to be bothered by that. Now, I might be bothered at the word that follows fat a little bit, but even that, not really, because I know who I am. So I don't have an emotional attachment to that word. So you're not going to shake me with that. And so learning how to question reality, learning how to decide, is this information true? Is it a fact? Or is it just something that I feel some type of way? And if you feel some type of way about it, you have to begin to pick that apart. You have to begin to ask yourself, where is this coming from? Where is it coming from? And so for me, again, using fat, because those of you who know me, you follow me, you work with me, you know, like that's been a lifelong struggle for me with my weight, off and on, up and down, blah, 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 blah. I'm back on the wagon again in January. So, you know, I've made a commitment to myself. This year has to be the year. I told y'all my goal, fourth and goal. That's my life quote for this year. So I got to fix it, right? But no matter what, I have a healthy relationship with my reality. And so I do have excess body weight, which means I'm AKA fat. So that's not ever going to hurt me. But a lot of times, if we have an emotional attachment to something, we're going to react in an emotional fashion, which oftentimes it's not necessarily the best way to respond to something. You know, we're much better suited to sit down, think through whatever is going on for us, and then have a rational response instead of an emotional reaction. Right? But if you haven't assessed your beliefs, you haven't assessed your meanings, you don't know where your emotions are coming from, then your choices are always going to be driven by those things. You're not in control. To get control of your life, to change your life, you have to control those things. Like I said, you need a disruptor in your beliefs and your meanings. Learn how to question that. If you need help, I'll help you. I got a whole program on it, quiet as it's kept. But you have to begin to question those things. You have to learn how to question your beliefs and the meaning that you attach to things. And then you have to be able to address what emotional attachment is to it, that you have to it, because then that's going to drive your choices. If you do things and you, at the end of it, you do something or you say something, you're like, oh, I was just so mad. Well, that's reactionary. It's not, you have to become a self-master. You have to self-master your behaviors. You have to self-master your belief systems. If you're running around like, oh, well, this person made me feel this way or that person made me feel that way. If you've ever been in therapy, your therapist will tell you people don't make you feel anything, but your beliefs make you feel things, and the emotions and meaning that you have tied to those belief systems will make you feel things. So you feel it. It's not the other person. It's your thinking that they should have done something different that's bothering you. And that comes from your belief systems and the meaning that you've tied to certain beliefs. So if I say so-and-so shouldn't call me this, then that's because that's how I feel, but that's not how that person feels. So I hope this makes sense. That's my message for today. Remember, you're going to have the 4 things that control your life: your beliefs, your meaning, your emotions, and your choices. They're going to drive your choices, and your choices is what everybody sees. That's where all your results come, is from your choices. So it's 4th and goal. Let's get control of those 4 things. If you need help learning how to control learning how to dissect your generational system, learning how to figure out why I believe the things that I believe, then hit me up. We can work either through Challenge to Change, that's one program, and then Prototype Your Life starts February 3rd, and that's the 4-week masterclass. You will get some of those skills in the Prototype Your Life class as well. So because it's foundational for everything that I do, working with my clients, you have to figure out why you do the things you do. And there's only one way to do that, and that's to go all the way back, take a look at your generational system and do a review, and then figure out for yourself what it is that you really believe and where that stuff comes from. So again, that's my message for today. Have an amazing Friday, you guys. Don't know if I'll be on live tomorrow or not. It's going to depend on my travel schedule. I can't remember how long my layover is in Seattle, but if not, maybe I'll just pop on and say hey from the airport. But that's my word for today. Remember, it's 4th and goal 2024. It's time for us to score and get control of the things we want to get in control of. So have an amazing day, guys. I'll see you in the next video.